I saw the world end. It wasn't sudden like a flash of light. It was slow, creeping, like a shadow swallowing everything we knew. The skies turned grey, and the rains came down harder than I had ever seen in my life. But that wasn't the scariest part. The scariest part was before the rain, when the giants roamed. We called them Nephilim. They were huge, stronger than any man could dream of being. And they ruled over us like we were insects. They weren't just strong, they were cruel. They took what they wanted, our food, our homes, even our people. If you stood in their way, you didn't live to regret it. And the men weren't much better. They fought, they stole, and they laughed at the idea of a God who cared. The world felt like a bad dream you couldn't wake up from. But there was one man who wasn't like the rest. Nohu. He was quiet, hardworking, and kind in a way that made you feel safe. People thought he was strange because he didn't join in with the rest of the chaos. And then one day, he started building this thing. It was massive, like a house, but shaped like a big box. We laughed at him.
What's that for?
Someone shouted.
A boat.
Nuhu said, calm as ever.
But there wasn't a river or ocean anywhere near us.
We laughed, called him crazy, threw insults at him. He would just look at us and say,
A flood is coming. God is going to wipe the earth clean. There's room for you, but you have to trust him.
no one listened. Why would we? There had never been a flood. The giant laughed the loudest.
Let your God come for us.
They would say,
We are not afraid.
The first sign was the animals. They started coming, two by two. Lions walking side by side with deer. Birds flying in pairs. They didn't fight or scatter. They just walked straight into Noah's ark. People were stunned. But even then, no one took it seriously.
Then it started. At first, it was just rain. Hard, cold rain that didn't stop. After a day, the rivers began to rise. By the second day, water covered the streets. We climbed to the rooftops, thinking it would pass. But the rain kept coming, and something else started happening. Water wasn't just falling from the sky. It was bursting out of the ground. It was everywhere. People started screaming, running, fighting for higher grounds. Some made their way to Noah's ark. I saw them pounding on the sides, begging to be let in.
Yoo-hoo! We believe in you! Let us in!
But the door stayed shut. Nuhu didn't open it. I think it was sealed by something stronger than him. The giants tried to fight it. They stood in the rising water, roaring like they could stop it. But even they weren't strong enough. The water swallowed them, just like the rest of us. I tried to swim, to find something to hold on to, but there was nothing. The water was relentless, pulling me under, filling my lungs. I remember looking up one last time, seeing nothing but endless gray skies and endless waters. And then it was over.
Oh, sorry. I wasn't there to see it. But I know the story. It's been told over and over how the world ended in water and how it began again with one family. So let's continue. For 40 days and 40 nights, the rain didn't stop. The ark floated on the endless water, rising higher and higher until even the tallest mountains disappeared. Inside, it must have been dark and strange. Just Nuhu, his family, and the animals. I imagine they spent a lot of time praying, wondering when it would all end. Then one day, the rain stopped. The water didn't go away all at once. It took months. Slowly, the ark came to rest on a mountain called Ararat. Nuhu waited and watched. He sent out a raven first, then a dove, to see if there was any dry land. The first time, the dove came back with nothing. But the second time, it returned with an olive branch in its beak. The third time, it didn't come back at all. That's when Nuhu knew the water was finally gone.
When the door of the ark opened, I imagined the world felt strange and empty.
The ground must have been muddy, the air quiet except for the sounds of animals stepping onto solid earth for the first time in over a year. Nuhu and his family built an altar and made a sacrifice to God, thanking him for saving them. That's when God made a promise, a covenant with Nuhu and his family. He said he would never again destroy the earth with a flood. As a sign of his promise, he set a rainbow in the sky, bright and colorful, stretching over the new world. It was the start of something new. The earth had been wiped clean, and Nuhu's family would begin again. They were the only ones left, but they carried with them the hope of a second chance.